Humanity has always been captivated by mysteries. We search for answers in the stars, ponder the secrets of ancient civilizations, and chase whispers of the unknown. The greatest mystery isn't ancient pyramids or UFOs, things that capture our imaginations from afar. It often lies much closer to home, in the forgotten corners of our world. Sometimes it's a cheap, abandoned car, a relic of a bygone era left to the elements, slowly surrendering to rust and decay. A silent testament to dreams deferred and journeys unfinished, especially when that car is a 1971 Ford Mustang, a symbol of American muscle and freedom, a car that once roared down highways, a head-turner, a statement. Now, just a shadow of its former glory. It's been left to rot in a field, swallowed by tall grass and weeds, offered for a mere 600 quid, a price that barely reflects the metal it's made of, let alone the history it holds. It sat there, moss-covered and silent, a green blanket slowly consuming its once vibrant paint job. The windows are clouded with grime, obscuring the interior, hiding the stories within. It's daring anyone to believe it could run again. The engine, the heart of this beast, is exposed to the elements, a tangled mess of wires and corroded metal. Can life be breathed back into this machine? To some it's scrap, just another piece of metal destined for the crusher, its parts to be melted down and repurposed. A forgotten memory, erased from the automotive landscape. To others, it's a challenge, a puzzle to be solved, a mechanical resurrection waiting to happen. A chance to prove that even the most broken things can be made whole again. It's a foolish, wonderful dream, a pursuit fueled by passion, a stubborn refusal to let go of the past, a belief that beneath the rust and decay there's still a spark of life waiting to be rekindled. Every dent and stain tells a story, a history etched in metal, a testament to the miles it has traveled and the lives it has touched. Each imperfection is a badge of honor, a reminder of its journey. Our mission, not just to turn the engine, to simply get it running again, that would be a victory, but it's not enough. But to awaken its spirit, to restore its soul, to bring back the roar that once echoed through the streets, to give it a new lease on life, a chance to reclaim its former glory. The odds were against us. The task ahead is daunting, the challenges are numerous, but we are driven by a shared vision, a belief in the power of perseverance. But if we could make this Mustang roar again, if we could bring it back from the brink, it would be more than just a restoration. It would be a victory for dreamers everywhere. A symbol of hope, a reminder that anything is possible with enough passion, dedication, and a little bit of elbow grease. The ad was blunt, almost dismissive. It lacked the usual fanfare, the glossy photos, the persuasive language. It was a simple, straightforward declaration. Old Mustang doesn't run, must collect. No frills, no promises, just the bare bones of an offer. It was the kind of ad that would easily be overlooked, lost in the sea of more polished and enticing listings. But something about its stark honesty caught our eye. The ad offered no promises, just a blurry photo, a tantalizing glimpse of what might be, and a vague location, somewhere behind a collapsing barn, miles from anywhere. It was the kind of place where forgotten things went to die, swallowed by the relentless march of time and nature. We knew it was a long shot, a gamble, but the allure of the unknown, the possibility of unearthing a hidden gem, was too strong to resist. After what felt like an eternity of searching, navigating winding country roads and overgrown paths, we finally found it. It was almost completely hidden, swallowed by the earth. We found it under a thick, suffocating curtain of ivy, a green shroud that had claimed it as its own. As we pulled back the vines, the Mustang slowly revealed itself, bigger and more imposing than any photo could show. Its lines, though obscured by dirt and decay, still spoke of power and grace. It was a sleeping giant, waiting to be awakened. The paint was faded, a ghostly echo of its former glory, cracked and peeling like sunburnt skin. The tires were flat, sunk deep into the earth, as if the car had been patiently waiting for decades. The interior was a disaster, a testament to years of neglect and the relentless gnawing of rodents. Yet beneath the grime, the Mustang's soul remained, a flicker of its former self refusing to be extinguished. You could sense the power it once possessed, the thrill it once provided. The deep-set gauges, though clouded with dust, hinted at the stories this car could tell. The T-bar shifter, worn smooth by countless hands, still stood ready to unleash the engine's fury. Even the running horse emblem, chipped and faded, radiated a sense of defiant pride. Every flaw, every imperfection was part of its story, a testament to its long and eventful life. We weren't just buying a car, we were buying a piece of history, a legend waiting to be reborn. We were adopting a problem, a monumental challenge that would test our skills and our patience. But standing there, gazing at this forgotten beauty, we couldn't have been happier. The excitement was palpable. The possibilities endless. The farmer shrugged as we handed over the cash, a wad of bills that represented far more than just the price of a derelict car. He thought we were mad, completely out of our minds. Maybe we were, blinded by passion and the allure of the past. But as we stood there, keys in hand, the weight of them a tangible symbol of our commitment, we felt like we'd just stolen a priceless artifact, a treasure unearthed from the depths of time. The real work, the painstaking process of restoration, the countless hours of research, the inevitable setbacks, and the real mystery of its past was about to begin. Before even thinking about turning the key, before even daring to introduce a spark to this slumbering giant, we knew we had to proceed with the utmost caution. This wasn't just about starting an engine, it was about potentially waking a beast that had been dormant for years. The stakes were high and the potential for disaster loomed large. So we played cautious doctor, approaching the engine bay with the delicate touch of a surgeon. We knew that rushing in, forcing the issue, or making any sudden moves would be catastrophic. It was like defusing a bomb. Each step had to be measured, each connection assessed. We had to understand the full extent of the neglect before we could even consider resuscitation. The first step, of course, was popping the bonnet. What that revealed was nothing short of devastation. A 351 Cleveland 5.8, a legendary engine in its own right, was almost completely buried under a thick blanket of leaves, twigs, and other organic debris. It was as if nature itself was trying to reclaim what was once man-made. And then there was the rust, not to mention a squirrel's nest, nestled snugly within the engine bay, a testament to the years of undisturbed slumber. It was clear that this engine had become a haven for wildlife, a forgotten corner of the world. Wires frayed and brittle, hoses cracked and crumbling. Seemingly everything was coated in a thick layer of orange rust, a visual representation of the relentless march of time and decay. It was a sobering sight, a stark reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. Our initial optimism took a significant dip. The sheer scale of the neglect was overwhelming, and the task ahead seemed daunting. This clearly wasn't going to be a quick fix, a simple tune-up, or a weekend project. No, this was more akin to an archaeological dig, carefully excavating layers of dirt, grime, and decay to uncover the hidden potential beneath. But before we could even think about restoration, there was one critical test. Was the engine seized solid? Had years of neglect fused the internal components into one immovable mass? With a heavy-duty wrench, a generous dose of penetrating oil, and a silent prayer to the gods of internal combustion, we cautiously attempted to turn the crank. And then, a miracle. It moved. Just a fraction of an inch, a mere millimeter, but it moved nonetheless. A sign of life, a glimmer of hope in the face of overwhelming decay. Relief washed over us. The beast wasn't dead, it was merely sleeping, waiting for the chance to roar back to life. Next on the agenda, we needed to assess the condition of the vital fluids. The oil resembled thick black sludge, more akin to tar than lubricating fluid. And the coolant? A rusty brown soup, a far cry from the vibrant green or blue it should have been. It was abundantly clear that everything, without exception, needed to be drained, flushed, and replaced with fresh, clean fluids. The patient was stable for now, but it was also in desperate need of a complete and thorough detox, a cleansing ritual to purge the years of neglect and prepare it for a new lease on life. The Mustang's heart, its 351 Cleveland, needed more than hope. We pulled the spark plugs corroded, caked in carbon, telling tales of neglect. Marvel mystery oil went into each cylinder, coaxing life back into the rings. The ignition system was a disaster, cracked cap, corroded rotor, chewed wires, all destined for the bin. New parts ordered, we drained the old oil and coolant, replacing them with fresh lifeblood. With new ignition components installed, we checked for spark. A fat blue arc jumped hope at last. The heart had a pulse. The beast was ready to be woken. Spark and compression were sorted. Now fuel, the scariest part. The tank was surely full of chemical evil. We bypassed it, running a hose from a jerry can of fresh petrol straight to the pump. Dangerous, but necessary. The battery was long dead, so we swapped in a new one, bracing for fireworks. Nothing, just a satisfying spark. The electrics were mostly dead, but all we needed was power to the starter and ignition coil. The rest could wait. For now, the stage was set, the patient was prepped, the moment of truth was here. The air was thick with anticipation. 3 of us stood ready, one at the key, one with a fire extinguisher, one watching the engine. The key turned. A red oil light flickered, life of a sort. The starter clacked, refusing to turn the V8. Again and again. Despair crept in, but we weren't done. A few whacks to the starter motor, a mechanic's trick, sometimes works wonders. Try it now. The key turned. No clack, just a slow, deep groan. Chug, chug, chug. The engine was turning, the beast was stirring. Hope returned. The slow cranking was music. Chug, 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 hope in every turn. Then a cough, a bang, smoke from the exhaust, life, more cranking, bang, chug, bang, bang. Cylinders joined in, the rhythm quickened. Suddenly, with a shudder, it roared to life, loud, chaotic, magnificent. The car shook, dust and smoke billowed. The V8 bellowed like a dragon waking from a 1,000-year nap. We stood back, grinning, ears ringing, covered in soot. The Mustang was alive. 30 seconds of thunder, then silence, triumph and disbelief. We'd done it. The 600-pound Mustang ran, and sounded utterly brilliant. The roar was just the beginning. The Mustang had a heartbeat, a voice, and potential. We'd resurrected history, proven everyone wrong, and felt a joy money can't buy. Reality set in. No brakes, no electrics, flat tires, rotten interior. The journey from it runs to it drives would be long, but the psychological barrier was broken. Now it was a question of when, not if. Every time the task seemed impossible, we could turn the key and remember why we started. This is what classic car restoration is all about. A dialogue between man and machine, patience and process. Why do it? Why pour time and money into a rusty, obsolete car? Because it's gloriously irrational. These cars are rolling sculptures, links to a time of ambition and soul. Restoring them is conservation, saving stories, memories, and spirit for future generations. The challenge, camaraderie, and satisfaction can't be bought new. Our Mustang was frustrating, expensive, and utterly worth it. If you see an old car in a field, see the story, see the adventure, you won't regret it.